Podcast.
Kind of wild that this is Gilbert Gottfried's last role, isn't it?
Yeah, I thought I felt like a genius when I was taking my notes as I was watching this movie. I was like writing notes, whatever. Where's the exact phrasing that I wrote? Where did it go? Can't find it. Oh, here it is.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sorry. That all bled together. I was seeing through the matrix for a second there.
Whoa.
First person Johnny saves in California sounds like Gilbert Gottfried. And then later I just wrote a note that says it was Gilbert.
It was Gil. It was Gilly. Yeah. So I'm looking at his IMDb. He has 2 upcoming voice credits, or one's a voice credit and one's, first of all, 198
years old. Incredible age to live to.
198 IMDb credits. Feels low a little bit, right? Feels like there's more.
In the grand scheme of things.
But something called Arcade Frenzy, where he is voicing, I guess he's reprising his role of Iago the bird from Aladdin for that. So that must be some sort of Disney production.
Legally?
It must be, I don't know. Iago parentheses voice. This is Disney. This is Disney's.
It's a Disney product. Disney's own
Arcade Frenzy. Yeah. So this
Bob
is
Iger's Arcade Bonanza.
Yeah. Stars Robert Costanzo, Taylor Gifaldi, and Gilbert Godfrey.
Whom?
Taylor Gifaldi.
Not that one.
Robert Costanzo.
Costanzo? That's awesome.
Costanzo.
Costanzo. Can't stanzo.
Okay, all right. He also voiced Philocities in the Hercules animated series and Kingdom Hearts. So he's taken over the
Kingdom Hearts mentioned. Hit the sounder.
He also acted in Saturday Night Fever, Friends, The Fourth Floor, The Golden Girls, Lois and Clark, Hannah Montana, and Die Hard 2. I know this guy. He's one of the cops who doesn't believe McClane in Die Hard 2. And then he's like, McClane, you're all right. This is New York.
The other cop was Gilbert Gottfried.
Weirdly, it was. Okay, so he's got that, and he's got something called Hassle Hassle at the Castle, which sounds like a Lucha Underground event.
It's a Malice at the Palace prequel.
Where he is playing Gorgeous George. That'll bring his IMDb credits up to a strong 200. And then suddenly, Mortal Kombat Legends cage match won't be his last credit on IMDb. This is all staying in.
That's fine.
Yeah. Also, so this came out in October, I think.
Yeah, we're late.
Well, but we're also right on time because it's now December and this is a Christmas movie.
Did we know that?
I had no fucking idea. Do we want to lie and say we did? I'm not editing
no,
this. We can just pretend.
I don't think we need to.
Totally planned for this to be a. Again, I think a Die Hard reference where it's an action movie set at Christmas as opposed to being a Christmas movie. And,
Yeah, this isn't a... look, we need to have we had this discussion on this show? And I know it's a trite discussion, so I want to make it fast.
Die Hard is not a Christmas movie?
Well, that's not necessarily what I was going to say. Frankly, I haven't seen Die Hard recently enough to have a strong opinion about that. I don't know what that guy's getting up to. Sure. Maybe it was.
Well,
but
he's certainly not dying easily.
Well, you know who else didn't die easily?
Gilbert Gottfried.
Jesus Christ.
Gilbert Gottfried.
And Christmas is all about him.
I got to hit that D at the end of the name.
The Bigman upstairs. I'm talking right over you. This is a terrible bit.
No, it's good. No, the Jesus stuff is good. It's funny.
I think that we need to finally just stop trying to be cute with that shit.
Hold on.
Where it's like a movie that takes place at Christmas.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Okay.
And a Christmas movie are different. Can you watch them both at the holidays?
Yeah.
Yes. Is the justification the same? Yes. Are they functionally the same? Are Home Alone and Die Hard the same? Quantifiably no.
That was first. Okay, 2 things. First, Home Alone and Die Hard do kind of have a lot of overlap if you think about it.
I picked that one on purpose.
Right. But you're right. But Home Alone, definitely Christmas. The message is Christmas. And okay, Die Hard has a message about family too, right?
Miracle on 34th Street. Die Hard.
But it ain't the same,
Yeah.
But also, I just want to say, Jesus did kind of die easy. He just came back.
No, bro. Are you unfamiliar with the Stations of the Cross?
I'm just saying, like
That shit sucked ass.
Like objectively,
like one person helped him carry that, and he was getting whipped the whole time.
All right.
Look,
okay.
So don't call the news. I'm defending our Lord and Savior on the podcast today, but like. There's literally like what was the last time you were in a church? Genuine question, because I think the answer might be fun.
Fuck. Oh no, I went to a Christmas service last year.
Yesterday.
No, but prior to that,
it had been a while.
A long time, a long fucking time.
So the proposal I would like to make is next time you go into a church, which
sure.
I haven't been in a while, but if you look around, there's literally going to be murals everywhere of how hard that was.
When did my Aunt Kathy die? That might have been the last time, other than last year. That might have been, I don't know, it's 15 years prior.
In any case, I think Jesus famously had a hard time.
Well, no, because that's just what they tell you.
Yeah, right. The big Jesus conspiracy.
Yeah, fair. All right, fair point.
Well, Jesus, you know what else goes with JC? Johnny Cage. We're back. It's fine.
Oh my God, dude. It means something. Also, fine. I concede. Jesus had it hard. Okay. Right.
Yeah.
He went.
I mean, he was only dead for 3 days. Maybe that part was easy.
That might be what I'm thinking of. Like,
yeah.
Okay, he died hard, but it was an easy. But the death itself was easy. Also, we totally knew this was a Christmas movie going in. What other lies are we going to tell the audience this holiday season?
Did you not know either? I earnestly thought you knew.
No, I had no idea.
I assumed you knew.
No.
Strikes me as the kind of thing you would know.
Yeah, do we want to talk about how I'm just kind of Mortal Kombat burnt out at this point on our Mortal Kombat show, where we're going to talk about the new Mortal Kombat
we can
movie?
Can we actually please talk about that?
Look, there's been a lot of Mortal Kombat shit. Obviously there's this, right? The biggest and there's something called Mortal Kombat 1.
Okay.
Shout out to Brandon, a friend of the show. Brandisandre, who described Mortal Kombat 1's online play as slutty.
He did do that.
Yeah.
I have a couple actual questions, and I think it's good for us to talk about this as we approach the tail end of being two guys that do a Mortal Kombat podcast
on this holiday episode.
Where we give thanks. And I am earnestly, deeply, and genuinely appreciative. And that's all the adverbs you can have of doing this show for a wide variety of reasons. One of them genuinely is just learning more about this dumb franchise that I like a lot, and all of this ancillary garbage that is secretly gold if you just look at it for more than 1 second.
And I'm grateful to learn about the Stations of the Cross here on the podcast.
Yeah, and that's really been great. But like, when did Mortal Kombat 1 come out?
I don't fucking remember.
I still haven't bought it. I don't even know what it's about still.
September, beginning of October.
Like I was excited, and I am excited, and it's still something that like I'm interested in. I care a lot about, but like
September 19th.
Never forget. I'm just sort of like, I could take a break. And we sort of did.
This is an us. I do want to be clear. This is an us problem. Okay.
Yeah, we overdid it.
Yeah,
we did, and the reason we overdid it is because we kept doing the worst stuff over time. Like it just sort of gradually got worse, and then it got worse to a point where like, what if we just did the good thing again?
And then we did it again, and that helped.
And then we did it again.
It helped a little. We had to mix some other stuff in with it, but I think
and then we were like, what if we just did stuff that was barely tangentially related?
Sure. Yeah, it's a
self-inflicted wound. We've taken a weird approach.
It's our fault, but like, so now we've got Mortal Kombat 1, we've got Cage Match, we've got the mobile game, the Mortal Kombat Onslaught.
Oh God, I forgot about the mobile game.
That came with.
Who cares?
which came with a one-shot comic book available on DC Universe Infinite, their like digital comic subscription thing.
Oh right, I remember. Yeah, we were gonna do it, and then we just didn't.
I was like, hey, there's this thing that might be fun to talk about. It's and then I read it and I was like, this isn't fun to talk about at all. This is just plain Mortal Kombat lore. Like, there's nothing cool or fun about this. It's just shit we've already heard about Shinnok and whatever the fuck else, So
yeah, and all. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, well. But so like that felt very like standard Mortal Kombat repeating itself, and then this and then Mortal Kombat 1 like remixes everything, which is very fun. And now we got Cage Match coming out, following off of Snowblind, where we've had like this animated movie sort of reset that happened. And it's telling a similar, like a familiar story in a new way. But I'm also just kind of like, I don't know, man. None of it's working for me right now.
I agree. And I don't know if this is like, and again, we're not like big shots or anything in the community.
We
but
might
like,
be
I don't know if this is a controversial stance for us to hold. Like, I don't know where other people are at on this, but like earnestly, and like the animated movies have been good, right? I mean,
for the
mostly,
I'd say
mostly
good.
One of them kind of bad. But like they announced another one, and my reaction was, I was like, ugh, okay.
That's the Adenian one, right? Is that what was announced?
Wait, is there? No, I meant this one. Is there another one?
I don't know. It's not confirmed.
Oh God.
I believe there will be a fifth one. Yeah,
we're trapped.
Folks, wow, boy, Shinnok does not. So we just spent 4 minutes trash talking Mortal Kombat, and the Elder Gods didn't like that and froze my computer.
So we lost 4 quality minutes of podcast that we're going to attempt to recreate for you now.
Yeah.
Which is essentially something along the lines of, and I don't remember if I said this part already in the 4 minutes or in the previous like 15. So bear with me while I just potentially restate a point.
Yeah.
But it just feels like they keep having the same idea over and over and over again.
Yes.
And even as a dedicated fan, that's a difficult thing to be enthusiastic about. And it doesn't seem like there's a lot of interest on the part of the creative teams they're bringing in to stray far from the fundamentals, even in something that is like ostensibly meant to be a significant remix.
Yeah.
This included.
Sure. Right. So we're talking like Mortal Kombat 1 kind of remixing everything. This coming out at the same time, following Snowblind, where we like learned that there's multiple timelines and all of that shit. All this, I mean, this was not part of it. This is a new point. I'm so fucking tired of multiverses, man. I'm so tired of it.
I will say, I haven't, like, a lot of the stuff that's popular right now that is doing the multiverse thing, I just straight up have not engaged with a lot of it.
Right.
I'm just not that interested in it.
Yeah.
But it's a flimsy pretense to keep stuff around and get away with changes while getting away with not making changes at the best of times. At the worst of times, it's starting to feel like it's just an excuse to churn out like 1 degree different versions of the same thing over and over and over.
Right. Yeah. And okay, to the specific point of how that relates to this movie, because this movie is not Mortal Kombat Legends Cage Match is not explicitly like this is a multiverse, right? But it's spinning off of Snowblind, right, which established the hourglass of time and kind of rewriting history and changing things. And Mortal Kombat 1, Corey, I know you haven't played it, very explicitly saying, oh, there's a multiverse now, right? There are a whole bunch of different versions of these things happening kind of simultaneously. And like, fine, whatever. Like what Mortal Kombat's old stance was, there was like one timeline and it would get reset over and over again, right? Which is essentially the same thing, let's be honest, you know?
Yeah, the narrative device functions in essentially the same way. I think the unique problem to Mortal Kombat is like I think that it's different than my understanding of what it is Marvel is doing, which I want to say, in fairness, I'm getting through Twitter. May not be in the best of faith, but my understanding is like they've used that as a lever with which to like essentially have the flexibility to undo stuff whenever.
Right. To maintain the idea of continuity, because that's what like everyone is striving for, like interconnected everything, but also not have to like hold to it too truly and be like, well, a different timeline, so it's a little different, or oh, that thing happened, so now this is different. It's just Like, just do what I would rather.
For Mortal Kombat, though, I feel like they're even doing it in a way that I find more frustrating, which is we just want to keep doing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna do that. But like, what if it went this way? And what if it went this way? And like, don't get me wrong, I like these characters in the world, so like that's a little interesting. But I'm just tired.
Right.
And so many things that we've listened to, watched, read, played over the years, like track in the exact same format.
Right.
And even the best remix of that format is the same format.
Yeah.
And it's starting to feel beyond uninspired, pushing creatively bankrupt. And I think that one major thing working against this movie in particular as well, and this is a complaint that I talked about in a Discord that we're in beforehand, but the way that it decides to like recode of paintify the narrative by being like, what if it was the 80s? And I'm just like, I would seriously rather kill myself. Like, it's just, we've been doing that bit for so long now.
Yeah.
Like, it has been the zeitgeist to do like the neon synth big hair fucking 80s thing for like
ever since Stranger Things invented Dungeons and Dragons.
Like, I mean, jokes aside, I think that's a really instructive benchmark to use. The first season of Stranger Things was 2016.
Yeah.
Right? That was not the start of the nostalgia. No. That was what kicked it into fucking overdrive. Yeah. So we've been in 80s nostalgia, unrelenting overdrive for 7 years.
Right. And like, we know that like these animated movies have been in production for a long time. Right. Like, animation takes,
of course, takes
years. So like a little bit of a pass, right, for that, you know, but not much of one. I will say that the 80s tint of this really did, it felt like a coat of paint. It didn't feel like something they were really leaning super hard into, to me.
Except for the flashbacks, which themselves feel shallow for a different reason, which is just, I've seen this a million times, and I'm not asking them to do something wholly original. That's not possible, and I understand that. But like, you don't just have to do this.
Yeah. What was really funny is like they couldn't use any like 80s music, right? And for some reason they kept dancing around naming 80s celebrities, not wholly, but a lot.
Except for one.
Except for twice. Yeah, no, that's right. They didn't actually say Prince's name, did they? They just started to, and then they didn't. And then it was when he calls Shinnok even whiter David Bowie, which was kind of funny, right?
Well, and Jennifer Grey.
And then, of course, Jennifer Grey being Jennifer Grey, sure.
In the movie, which is a very bizarre decision to have made. I just want to just point that out while it's up. Don't know why that's a really weird thing to have done.
It was funny. It was kind of a joke at her. I mean, she was in on it, obviously, but like, she dies in the movie, and like, career kind of died in the 80s. So,
right, yeah.
It was a little bit of a joke there again at her expense, but I don't know. I'm looking at her IMDb. She worked pretty consistently through the 90s and 2000s and all the way up till 2023's Mortal Kombat Legends cage match. So, bad joke, turns out. I do want to say, I think this got cut out. This got dropped. I just want to put this here. This is our 4th animated Mortal Kombat movie. This goes back to your point about they're just doing the same things over again. This is our 4th animated Mortal Kombat Legends movie. It is our 2nd Mortal Kombat Legends movie that deals with Shinnok being resurrected. So, yeah, really sort of, I mean, it could have, like, first of all, where the fuck has Quan Chi been in these? He was in the first one and that was it. Why couldn't this have been something dealing with Quan Chi, right? We've got Kia Jitaka and Serena there.
There's no good reason to have dust collecting on the screen of a Donnie Meropis' cell phone.
Yeah, why not have Quan Chi
There's
in
no good reason. He should be live action in this, and everyone else is animated.
That would have been incredible. Or
we need to do Who Framed Quan Chi, bro. We need this.
Or he's in this, but he's rotoscoped, which becomes a better 80s reference than a lot of what they've done, you know? Like,
or he's rotoscoped because they're already doing direct references to Mortal Kombat Sub-Zero Wars or whatever that game was called.
This is just Cool World, but with Mortal Kombat.
Sure, whatever. Who cares?
Yeah, I'm into it.
And I don't want because the opening like 20 minutes of this are now going to be us like complaining.
Sure.
Which is not necessarily how I want this to go or come across at the very least. It's just that I'm at a point where I just want something else from this.
Right.
And broken record alert, but the thing that felt the most different so far was Mortal Kombat Conquest.
Hell yes. Yeah.
Like, it's so its own thing.
Right. Yeah.
Its own version of this thing. Like, is it similar? Yeah. Does it stand apart still?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I feel like the thing that recent games, movies, whatever, are struggling to do is feel as though they are meaningfully standing apart while riffing.
Right.
They just feel like they're riffing.
Yeah. Okay. So, man, how am I going to word this? I look at Mortal Kombat in 2023, this movie, Mortal Kombat 1, Mortal Kombat Onslaught, which may or may not have been talked about already. And if it hasn't been, it won't be on this episode specifically.
If it hasn't been, it was found dead in a ditch yesterday.
It died easier than Jesus fucking Christ did. All right. And this fucking movie that's supposed to like take place in the 80s even has a reference at the end to the first Mortal Kombat game being made in universe, even though it was video of Mortal Kombat trilogy. I just look at this and I'm like, we are so fucking far away from where Mortal Kombat started, even though Mortal Kombat started with Ed Boon and John Tobias like riffing on 80s movies and martial arts movies and shit, right? And this 80s Johnny Cage movie dealing with action movie tropes from the time should feel so familiar, but it just doesn't at all to me. It doesn't feel like even a little bit Mortal Kombat to me at this point. We're so past, like, I'll just call it the golden age, you know, then the mid 90s, the mid to late 90s, I'll call it because of Conquest, right? What our personal golden age, I'll call it, you know,
which is, yeah, well, and that's ironic because like nothing that's being made right now is astonishingly bad.
No, it's
right?
all
like
objectively pretty good. It's just, I don't think what I want.
It feels like it's very like in one ear out the other. I'm not going to remember I saw this in like a year.
Right.
You know, like and I find that frustrating, especially when like everything's sort of there. Like this is very well made. They've really got the style down for these. Like they know what they want these to look like. They know what they want these to feel like and sound like. This is maybe the best, blanking on his name. That's why I'm just snapping my finger. Johnny Cage voice actor.
Joel McHale.
Probably some of the best he's done it to date.
Yes, I would agree with that.
Like he's fantastic in this.
Yeah, he's very good. They kept him. I think they had to keep him on more rails in this one, and I think that helped. You know.
Yeah, but like if anybody's gonna do like the smarmy annoying douche thing.
Yeah, get the smarmy annoying douche guy.
Get the smarmy annoying douche guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like it looks very nice. The action, it feels like they've become very good animators of action. It all feels very fluid while feeling very deliberate. The sharp movements feel sharp. The hits feel like they hit people.
Yeah.
Nothing is wrong here, and that makes it more frustrating that I just feel nothing.
Because it's just content at this point, right?
Yeah.
Like I hate to say that. Like, okay, so I've noticed a change too. We're going to talk about Warner's animated output in general right now. Say what we want about David Zaslav and the Discovery merger and all of that kind of shit, right? Like, to some degree, we should be thankful they're even making Mortal Kombat stuff still a little bit, right?
Right. Well, just because that guy's a fucking psychopath.
Yeah, but like, man, when Scorpion's Revenge came out, I was like, oh my god, I can't believe we're getting like an R-rated animated Mortal Kombat movie. This shit looks awesome and it's cool. And I was so excited because because Warner had done like, not all of them are perfect, but they had done a good string of really good quality DC Comics based animated movies. Again, not across the board.
Yeah, like Superman Goes to Japan.
Like, well, that's a manga. We're gonna.
I know.
Yeah, we'll do an episode on that later.
Why did I even make the joke?
But like, well, like the Death of Superman animated movie is very fucking good. Like there's a bunch of them. There's and so I was like excited that they were doing this. But at this point, like, they are just pumping these things out to keep these IPs like active or in people's minds or on screen on streaming channels, right?
Yeah, or until the Mortal Kombat 2 comes out.
Just to keep yeah. And it's just a little
they're
bit
maximizing portfolios.
Yeah, and they're doing it with animated stuff, but it's the same thing that Disney's doing with like Star Wars and Marvel, and particularly with Marvel, where there's like 9,000 TV shows coming out, and like it's a lot. It's
how many versions of this thing do we need?
Yeah.
How many versions of this thing do we need? The answer is not this many.
Right.
Right? Like,
so for a very long time, right? What did we have? We had the movie, the 95 movie, and then people were even making do with Mortal Kombat Annihilation because it was another Mortal Kombat movie. And then there's a cartoon series, which was hard to get like on home media, and then Conquest, which was hard to get for a long time. And it was like, that was our Mortal Kombat stuff, right? We've like doubled the amount of that stuff like in the past like 5 years. But like we were like living off of Mortal Kombat 95 for a long time, and I think that that's part of the reason why everyone loves that movie. Like it carried us through the Mortal Kombat dark ages. And now like
it's overcompensated by swinging hard the other direction.
Cage Match is not going to be anybody's favorite Mortal Kombat movie 5 years from now or 10 years from now or whatever, right? Like it's just going to be it's just going to like, I mean, there will be no bargain bins anymore, but like these things are just going to end up, these are going to be
the bargain bin of our mind.
Yeah. This is just going to be, it's all going to become chaff. There's going to be so much of this shit that like, it's just going to like fall through the cracks. I don't know, man.
That's not us saying it's bad. It's just us saying that it is a casualty of circumstance. And I feel like Mortal Kombat is taking a similar trajectory to a wide variety of like behemoth-sized franchises where they're just sort of like, if you never stop being presented with a new thing. Right. I believe Drew Gooden just put up a video that is titled something to the effect of "We don't need more Star Wars."
Well, it's like because we fucking,
and it's just like because you don't need 14 shows. Actually, I stand corrected. It is called "How Much More Star Wars Do We Need?"
None. We don't need any.
And I'm sort of at the point where, and this isn't that like cloying sort of like, oh, we need to go back to like before IP. Like we can't. We live in hell. Yeah. Capitalism destroyed the earth, and IP is all we have. Be thankful. But
sure.
I think that it's a very strange feeling to see in real time how Mortal Kombat went from like that reboot game to like MKX being good, MK11 being huge, and then them just sort of cracking their knuckles and being like, okay, we can do that.
Yeah.
And then just here's a fire hose of stuff. And
yeah,
it's been relatively tame compared to stuff like Star Wars and Marvel, which is just sort of like unrelenting, and also you need to have seen all of it for any of it to make any sense.
Yeah.
But even this amount for me is too much.
Yeah.
I don't need this.
It's just like, hey, let's slow down. Let's maybe spread these things out, right? Maybe don't put the new mainline game and the mobile game and the new animated movie out all within like 2 months of each other. Like maybe
with the live action movie, maybe a year out, maybe a little more because of the strikes.
And
but
if we didn't have like the writer's strike and the actor's strike, we'd probably be seeing it. They probably would have dropped a trailer for the movie already, right? Or like a teaser,
Yeah.
Like,
and they would all feel like different versions of the same fucking story.
it's just a lot. It's just.
I don't need another goddamn version of fucking Sub-Zero, okay?
So
I don't need it.
The last thing I
don't want it.
I don't know if it got cut or not. I don't even remember what got cut and what got said since we started recording. But I do want to say
we're sort of in a fugue state.
That I watched this movie last night and I wasn't crazy about it. I was wondering what I was doing with my life, etc. But then I watched it this morning and I was like, actually, that's pretty good. But I'm probably not going to watch it again, like at least for a very long time. Those are
and Neil loves rewatching Mortal Kombat.
I watched it twice. Okay, I've watched it 2 times.
That's not true.
This one I've watched 2 times.
Right, but other things.
Other things I've watched too many times.
Yes.
Yeah.
Me when I lie. I've only seen this twice.
Well, we kind of talked about how we feel about this movie up top and just about everything in general. I think
we just sort of like ramble spewed for a while. I think that discussion was good, though. I would like to say this movie is fine.
It needed to happen.
That's my ultimate feeling, but it also felt like nothing.
The conversation needed to happen. People need to know where we're at. They need to know why we're ready to kind of move on, and a little bit why maybe we're not super enthusiastic about doing this all of the time right now. I am excited about that Jeff Roven book, though. I think that's going to feel weird and fun.
Yeah, I agree. Although I got to be honest with you, I also just I have to look at myself in the mirror and just be serious.
Yeah.
And if I honestly think if in a week you were like, do you just want to watch Mortal Kombat Conquest again? I might be like, yeah.
We've tossed that around, but I don't know. We should do it. We should probably.
I don't think it needs to be for a podcast, but like if I were asked,
you would just like do it.
Part of me would honestly be because it's like I've seen it twice in full, which is more than I've seen most TV shows in full, and like. It felt as interesting the second time. Do
you find yourself missing it? I find myself missing it.
Yes. Yes.
That's how good it is. That's how much fun Conquest is to watch. That's how. And also,
we have a weird. We also have like a weird relationship to it anyway, because of just when we ended up doing that,
right?
And like what that did to our lives. But I also just earnestly, I honestly think like if somebody stopped me in the street and said, I would love to watch something Mortal Kombat related, like what should it be? I still would not hesitate for a second. My answer is go watch Mortal Kombat Conquest.
Mortal Kombat Conquest, yeah.
Like the rest of it's always going to be there, but if you have go watch Mortal Kombat Conquest.
Go watch it.
It's not even that much of a commitment.
No, you're going to enjoy it. It's leaps and bounds better than other similar shows from that era too. So like, as someone who's watched a bunch of those,
you're not getting Hercules.
You're not going to get Kevin Sorbo on this show. Thank God. Anyway,
speaking of a guy who's gonna die easier than Jesus,
fingers fucking crossed. Am I right?
Crazy thing to say that I just said for what it's worth. That's an insane bit to try to make work, and I'm not convinced that I did. But
well, everyone, we'll take it in the spirit with which it was intended. How about that? The Holy Spirit with which it was intended.
Yeah, it's a joke. Nobody call Kevin Sorbo.
So we are talking today about Mortal Kombat Legends cage.
Oh yeah, we got to do the whole thing still that we do. Do
you want to go over to the Corey corner?
I guess. Welcome to the Corey corner. There we go. Okay. So it's the 1980s.
Now that we've shit talked to this movie.
We'll at least tell you what it's about. So it's the 1980s, and Jonathan Cage is about to become even more of an action superstar. He already is, with his raw charisma, martial arts prowess, and impending hit film Ninja Mime, which he is currently on the set of, and they're ninja miming it up all over the place.
Just real quick, insane that they're filming this Ninja Mime, which is clearly a Christmas movie, at Christmas, right?
Yeah, they're going to have to wait like a whole year to release that.
Yeah, whatever. I don't know. Maybe it took longer.
They're going to do insane post-production.
Right, yeah.
They're going to rotoscope the whole movie. And everything's going well, but suddenly there's a problem. His co-star Jennifer,
Yes.
just Jennifer,
Not to be confused with Genevieve.
Not to be confused with Genevieve, has disappeared. And Johnny Cage is like, I can fix that. Let me go try to have sex with her in her house.
Mm-hmm.
And my raw charisma will bring her back to set. So him and his green, bright-eyed assistant Chuck get in a Ferrari and drive over to Jennifer's house. I don't think I've skipped anything important so far.
No.
And break in. And when he hops that fence, I would like to report that I feel it was a missed opportunity to not animate it as if he was jumping the fence the way that Jackie Chan jumps the fence in Police Story.
Oh, man. When he just like hops up and flips.
Yeah. And like swings his legs over it. He's just up there.
Yeah.
They should have just done that for what it's worth. But so he breaks into Jennifer's house to try to seduce her into returning to the movie. And what he walks in on instead, when he thinks it might be cool sex, is actually
lame sex.
It's actually Mortal Kombat characters fighting.
Yes.
So the two people that we have fighting are Ashra, who you'll know from Mortal Kombat 1, and also Deception.
Yes.
Neil, I gotta level you. I can't believe I got that right.
I'm impressed.
I'm like proud of myself.
You should be.
I internalized that at some point.
Nice.
From Mortal Kombat Deception. And Kia from this. Is this new?
First appearance, Mythology Sub-Zero.
Right, because I Googled it because I was like, is this person? And I'm like, oh yeah, they're pulling from the Mythology Sub-Zero bag.
Yeah.
Which is insane to do.
Yeah. Well, Kia shows up in Armageddon, I think. She's playable in something, I think.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. In any case, read into what you will that they are now scraping Mortal Kombat Mythology Sub-Zero for references. They're fighting over a scroll.
Okay, no, she's just in conquest mode, and it's a beat 'em up section. She's not a playable character. Yeah.
They are so they're fighting over a scroll, and I'm gonna jump ahead just to say a scroll that has a secret Greek incantation on which big bad magical things can happen.
Yeah.
If you read them, and they're fighting over it. Johnny interrupts the fight with his bumbling buffoonery, and Kia escapes with the scroll, and Ashra gives chase, and then the house explodes because of a bomb. And then Johnny and Chuck give chase to them because they're like, well, that scroll seems important. Whatever they're fighting about seems cool. I kind of want that. And also Ashra's hot. And I would like to have more of that in my life. And so he gets in a bus. Again, Police Story. I don't know why you're not just do the fence thing.
Just do Police Story.
Just make Police Story when it's Johnny Cage.
Yeah.
I'd watch that. Fucking who cares?
But Jackie Chan still plays Johnny Cage.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just Police Story redubbed.
It's just animated Police Story. Okay, so long story short, Ashra they end up killing Kia because Kia gets hit by a bus.
Right.
And
smooshed. She gets smooshed.
They leave with the scroll at that point. Johnny has the scroll, correct?
Yeah, Johnny has a scroll, but then he goes to see his agent.
Right, and he got while all of this cool inter-realm nonsense was happening, he got a call about being brought in by the big man. The big man.
That's Spielberg, right? We're talking about Spielberg.
I guess, but why is he doing a superhero movie if it's Spielberg?
Wasn't Spielberg
the superhero element
at one point to do one? I don't remember. I thought it was because they're like, oh, at the 1 minute he'll do like an adventure flick like Indiana Jones.
Oh yeah, that sounds like they're talking about Spielberg, but I just didn't understand why it was Spielberg in the 80s is making a superhero movie.
Oh,
like the superhero movie element just felt like commentary about now.
Maybe it was Richard Donner they were talking about.
The big man, big dick Donner.
Maybe. Big Dick Donner. That's what they call him in Hollywood.
That's what they call him in the business.
But also, it's Warner Brothers. Why didn't they just make it Superman? Like they own that.
Super guy.
Right.
Yeah,
whatever.
I've made a mistake. I forgot to talk about the part where Johnny Cage tells us about his childhood where he learned to fight because he got bullied.
That's right. Yeah. Yes. And he hates
But we
bullies.
already kind of addressed that.
It's fine.
And
he goes to a strip mall to take martial arts, and then he learns from Master Boyd, which is a reference to Mortal Kombat 95.
It's just Karate Kid bullshit. It doesn't matter. And the only difference is when he defends himself from the bullies, what he does is he snaps a child's arm completely in half.
And like blood sprays out and everything. It's pretty
That's how you know it's Mortal Kombat.
It's kind of Mortal Kombat as hell.
So he goes to see Gilbert Godfrey, his agent that he met once on like Venice Beach.
Yeah.
And now they make a bunch of money together. And it turns out that this has all been a ruse. And Gilbert Gottfried actually just wants the scroll.
Mm-hmm.
And it is revealed that Gilbert Godfrey is one of many literal demons that run Hollywood.
Yes.
And they are all in on a death cult ploy to resurrect Shinnok of Mortal Kombat fame.
Yeah, he's not named yet.
But like, that's what it is.
But that's what it is, yeah.
And the reason I'm naming him now is because like when Jataka shows up and they like do the reveal, I don't remember that part very well. So I'm saying the Shinnok part now.
That's fine.
And Johnny's like, no, hands off my scroll, you dumb bitch. And kills him to death.
He does say bitch a lot in this, doesn't he?
He says bitch several times.
He says fucking bitch. If you want to hear Joel McHale as Johnny Cage say fucking shit and bitch a bunch, this is the movie for you.
They should have got Joel McHale as Johnny Cage to voice the I think you should leave bit about being able to swear on the Ghost Tour. Just imagine that in your mind, dear listener. It's pretty funny. It's pretty funny to just think
depends
about
on how. I mean, it depends on your own personal imagination, probably. How
I think it's funny regardless. But jeez. Johnny Cage is like, okay, I've got the scroll.
Let's go to the Magic Castle.
I'm gonna go hang out at the Magic Castle. Does he talk to Ashra somewhere in there?
No, Ashra catches up at the Magic because it's when this is where he goes to the Magic Castle, or what do they call it? The Magical Mansion, because they don't want to call it the Magic Castle. Folks, if you don't know, if you've seen this movie, it's based on a real place called the Magic Castle, which is like an invite-only magician performance space in Los Angeles or thereabouts. Right?
Yeah, it's sort of like Club 33 for magicians, but nobody can eat
Club
there.
33 for fucking nerds. Wait, Club 33 is already for fucking nerds.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's crazy to
different nerds. How about that?
For some reason that's the only exclusive club I could think of was Club 33.
You know me, I wouldn't want to be a member of any club that would have me as a member. So
yeah, it's understandable. So they're talking, and I'm truly lost at this part. I'm not gonna lie to you.
All right, I'm gonna tag me in. All right,
tag.
He goes to the Magic Castle while Chuck is in the sound van they borrowed from production somehow, translating the Greek on the scroll, right? And
yes,
he can't get into the Magic Castle because of something that happened with a birthday party. I forget. He's like, because of that event that happened, I've been blacklisted, right? He tries to bribe his way in, and there's a very funny joke about the guy he's trying to bribe to let him into the Magic Castle, like giving him his 20 back by making it appear as if from nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty good. But then Chitaka shows up and she's like, he's with me. And he's like, where have you been all my life? And she's like,
and I'm cool and hot.
Getting ready for you. And he's like, her legs are curvier than the roads and the hills of the Palisades or whatever. The
Ganges River.
They're all California. A lot of California references, right?
Have you guys heard of California?
So she takes him in and they go underground. Like she takes him like through, and she's like, as a part of one of the benefits of joining our club is you get access to the old subway tunnels, and there's like torture and shit going on down there, it seems, but he's not really paying attention. And then that's when Ashra like shows up and fights Jataka. And
in the subways, like a Mortal Kombat game might do.
Like a Mortal Kombat game might do. And Jataka I don't know how she dies, but she does. And yeah, Ashra and Johnny Cage run off, and now we've got the three of them together, like her, Chuck, and Johnny.
I now pronounce you Chuck and Johnny.
I now pronounce you
Chuck and Johnny.
Where do we go from here? This is where they put together.
I don't know. They go resurrect fucking Shinnok. Who cares?
Okay. So I think what happens now. I've seen this twice. I finished watching this an hour and a half ago. It's already falling out of my head. All right.
I watched it Friday night.
Yeah,
and
you watched it a couple days ago. I watched it last night and this morning. I think from here they discover like the locations on the map form a pentagram. A pentagram. But if you trace the outside points, it would also be a pentagon. Thank you very much.
Sure.
Sorry, I have been watching reruns of Lucha Underground on the El Rey network on the Roku channel.
So you feel strongly about? Do they play in a pentagon?
No, but one of the luchadors is Pentagon Junior. So,
dude, I thought you were gonna tell me their ring was a pentagon, and I'm like, dude, that's unreal.
That would be fucking rad. But no, it's a.
Instead of the octagon, will you get in the pentagon with me yet?
Instead of the octagon.
Oh wait, I have a really good bit for that. Hang on, can you give me 1 second?
Yeah. Worth it.
Will you get in the pentagon with me at Verano Slam?
Worth it. All right.
I just didn't know the word for that.
So, okay, so.
I love the idea that slam is not made Spanish.
Not editing this episode, by the way.
Will you get into the Pentagano with me at Verano Slam? Okay, now I'm done.
All right. What if we held hands in the Pentagon at Verano's? All right.
Look, dude, that's really funny.
Okay. All right. So I think they find out that whatever this ritual. Wait, I don't fucking know. Oh, they're still looking for Jennifer, right? And I don't fucking remember. Oh, they find out that like this whole thing's gonna go down at Dan's Oriental Theater as opposed to the Man's Chinese Theater because again they're being cute with their LA references, right? Or their Hollywood references rather. I don't know. At some point, Johnny finds Jennifer Grey. I think that's why they think she's being held captive. Does that track?
More or less.
Yeah. And then she's like, surprise, I'm actually in the club. Also, my name isn't really Jennifer Grey. I'm actually Serena, right? The third of the Serena Kia Jataka like trilogy of
the big three.
You know, the canon version of Cien, Sora, and Mika. Not specifically in that order.
Right.
I prefer the Conquest versions personally.
It's the least surprising thing you've ever said.
Anyway, it's Jennifer Grey she captures Johnny and she's like, we need your special blood. We need the blood of a god. That was part of the Greek translation, right? Was we need special blood to resurrect Shinnok, and she takes him down to the chamber. Ashra and Chuck had been captured. That's right. They had been captured. And they have to break out of the jail and like free Johnny, but it's too late. Shinnok is resurrected. Johnny has to fight Shinnok on the streets of Hollywood while Ashra fights Serena, aka Jennifer Grey, and Chuck helps.
Jennifer Grey of Earth reality.
Jennifer Grey of actual human being Jennifer Grey from Dirty Dancing, everybody. We haven't hit that point hard enough, I think.
No, like it's like in universe, it's
Jennifer Grey.
She's herself. Yeah. She is playing herself.
And she's playing herself, who is secretly Serena from the Netherrealm, right? Like her human form is Jennifer Grey. Very honestly, funny bit, clever bit. There is clever stuff in this. So then Johnny's Mediterranean war cult powers awaken, right? And he kills Shinnok.
Yeah.
And the movie's over. Earthrealm is saved.
And then it snows in California.
And then it snows in California. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Actually, it does that sometimes. It snows in Los Angeles.
Snows in Los Angeles. Merry Christmas, everybody, because this is actually a Christmas movie. And then we get the reveal that if you've been on the Wikipedias, you already know that Chuck Golden, Johnny Cage's assistant, becomes his mocap artist and calls himself Mocap, his mocap stand-in. And he's the character Mocap from Mortal Kombat. Boom, done.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Kind of fizzled out there at the end of that Corey corner, didn't we?
I mean, I forgot like a not insignificant chunk of the movie.
I can't stress. We watched this. We did watch this, everybody.
We just watched it, and it wasn't even bad. It's just not memorable.
This is just where we're at, unfortunately, and I'm sorry to everyone. Let's go over to the Neil
You might
Nook.
have turned this podcast off already.
Let's go over to the Neil Nook. Welcome to the Neil Nook.
It's Gucci.
This movie was directed by Ethan Spalding, who also directed Scorpion's Revenge and Battle of the Realms and Scooby-Doo Return to Zombie Island. And Justice League Throne of Atlantis, I think that was a pretty good one. Assault on Arkham, I think that was okay. That one tied into the Arkham games. Anyway, yeah, directs a lot of animated movies. Directed 12 episodes of Avatar: The Last Airbender. That's pretty cool. The movie was written by Jeremy Adams, who wrote all of the Legends movies. Obviously, this one, Cage Match, wrote Snowblind, wrote Battle of the Realms, wrote Scorpion's Revenge. I already forgot. Yeah, Scorpion's Revenge. Can't believe I felt like I forgot. Also wrote Return to Zombie Island. And again, I do think that this script is pretty clever. Like, it's been shown that like Joel McHale ad-libs. I think the base script here is really good. I don't know what parts Joel McHale added in the booth, but if they were as indulgent as they were on Battle of the Realms, probably a lot.
Which means he got better because
the
Battle of the Realms ones were worse.
When he's carrying the story, I think they had to keep him on. Like, they're like, Joel, we need to get some of these lines as scripted,
Yeah, read this part.
Speaking of,
read this part.
just Joel, buddy, can you read?
I can't read.
Joel McHale as Johnny Cage. Look, I like Joel McHale. All right, I bring up Community every chance I get. It's a good show, and he's very good on it. He was a lot in Battle of the Realms, and he was almost a lot in Scorpion's Revenge. I do think he does a really good job in this one. He's fun. I like him. He's a good Johnny Cage. Also, I haven't seen this, but he's in Spy Kids 4 All the Time in the World. Have you seen that one?
Spy Kids 4?
From 2011?
No, I probably stopped at Spy Kids 3D Game Over.
Okay. You're like, game over for this franchise for me.
Yeah, I did not see that one, and wow, what a nightmarish poster. Those kids don't look real.
Robert Rodriguez has always been on the cutting edge of...
It looks like they airbrushed the hell out of it. And also that dog... That dog looks troubled.
Those kids don't look real.
They don't. They look fake.
All right. Who do we want to go to next? Gray Griffin as Kia, formerly Gray DeLille. All right. I think I said that right. She... voiced Katana and Melina in Mortal Kombat 10 and Catwoman in Injustice 1 and 2. There's some NetherRealm connections for everybody. She's Kia in this. She's a very famous voice actor. She's done a bazillion voices. I think she also does Melina or Katana in Battle of the Realms. She's got 691 acting credits. And I have scrolled a lot, and I'm only back to 2022, so we're not looking
So that's
it up.
over.
Oh, she did some voices on Young Justice. That's fun. We're going to talk about that a little bit more later. Jennifer Grey as herself / Serena. You guys know Jennifer Grey. She's Ferris Bueller's sister in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. She's Baby Houseman in Dirty Dancing. Nobody puts baby in the corner. Baby, right?
Yeah, not to be confused with Flashdance.
Not to be confused. Yeah, she's not Flashdance. She's Dirty Dancing.
Also, if I may, I look at the used vinyl soundtrack sections of record stores a lot.
Yeah.
And I say this as somebody who owns a used copy of the soundtrack to Flashdance just because there's so many of them.
Uh-huh.
It is the one I have seen the most by like an absolutely monumental margin.
Kelly Hu as Ashra. I'm a big fan of Kelly Hu. First of all, she is Li Mei and Madame Bo in Mortal Kombat 1. There's a Mortal Kombat reference right off the top. She's also Jade Nguyen, a.k.a. Cheshire, in Young Justice, a very good show, and she's very good on that as well. I believe one of her earliest roles is from Friday the 13th, Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. She's voiced, I'm not going to pull all of them. She's voiced Lady Shiva in a number of like DC animated projects. She plays Chino Wen, aka China White, in the Arrowverse shows. She was in The Scorpion King with The Rock. She's in the movie Surf Ninjas. Got to touch on that. Another one of her relatively early roles is an episode of Raven.
I was waiting.
And another one of her not so early roles, a little later on in her career, Wendy Trang in an episode of Pacific Blue. Are you playing the Raven soundtrack?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's cutting out. It took me a second.
Fuck.
I'm going to need your
You
track.
said Raven, and then I realized the tape recorder was next to me, but I did not hit play before you moved on to the next thing. So, like, it's not even synced up correctly.
That's all right. And she's Devora in Mortal Kombat 10 and 11.
Oh, okay.
Again, a lot of Mortal Kombat connections. Gilbert Gottfried as David Double D. We talked a lot about him at the beginning.
David Doubloons.
Doubly, Double D. David Double D.
Arg, it be me, David Doubloons.
It's me, David Doubloons. Affleck. Right.
Ralphs. It wasn't even a good.
Gilbert Gottfried's amazing, colossal David Double-D voice. Whatever. Some of this is getting cleaned up.
It's just his voice, bro.
It's just David. Yeah, it's David Double-D. All right. We got Robin Atkin Downs as Shinnok. Everyone knows who Gilbert Gottfried is, right? Robin Atkin Downs also voiced Shinnok in Battle for the Realms. Again, this is the second animated movie that is dealing with Shinnok. Out of 4. That's 50% of them. 444 credits for that man. We've got Zara Fazal as Jataka. She's Halo in Young Justice. Violet Harper, that's the character's name in Young Justice. Again, she voices a lot of DC projects. And now she's in the Mortal Kombat universe. We've got Phil Lamar is Brian Van Jones. Is that the director? Was that the director of the movie who shows up later? Is like one of the demons?
I thought Matt Mercer was the director.
Matt Mercer is the director. Who's Brian Van Jones? How have we forgotten
is
an
he
entire
the
character?
guy? Is he the guy that goes in and meets Johnny and is like he sits on Chuck's autographs?
Yeah. You all know who Phil Lamar is. He voices one of the Green Arrows. He voices the John Stewart Green Lantern in a lot of DC projects, and I believe in Injustice too. So there's a NetherRealm connection for him. And I saw him at a convention once. He was super nice. We've got Dave B. Mitchell as Raiden. Dave B. Mitchell also voiced Raiden, I think, in the other Legends movies. Oh, he voices Sector in Mortal Kombat 11 and Knuckles the Echidna in Sonic Frontiers. Hell yeah. And finally, Dusan Brown as Chuck Golden, a.k.a. Mocap. A Gen Z actor. Nice that they actually got a kid to play kind of a kid in this.
Yeah.
He's done episodes of iZombie, Kroll Show. He was on 2 episodes of Community. Oh, he's one of Shirley's sons in Community. That's fun. A nice little reunion with Joel McHale. Yeah, that's kind of it. That's all we're gonna do for the Neil Nook here. Now that we've covered all of those bases, let's talk about how we feel about this thing.
So what you're going to do is you're going to look at your podcast player. You're going to see this big bar at the bottom. You're going to roll that back to 0. You'll hear what we feel about the movie. We kind of did this a little backwards.
Look, we're out of practice. It's fine. We had a lot to say. Again, feeling burnt out about Mortal Kombat content in general. I do want to talk a little bit more about some specifics that I really liked about this.
Please.
So the first thing I want to say, I kind of talked about the 80s attitude in this. Like, there's some action movie structure to this, for sure, right? Some 80s action movie, tropes. But it is mostly, for me, just a coat of paint. And I think that coat of paint looks really good. I think redesigning Ashra to look like she climbed out of a Patrick Nagel print is pretty fun.
Yeah, that's smart.
And I think that they get the style right. I think that there are some very fun lines where Johnny Cage, when Gilbert Gottfried is holding the gun at him and he kicks it, and he goes, spin kick. That's right. I say all my own moves, was kind of funny. He does some narrating in this, right? It's not super consistent, but the story is being narrated by Johnny Cage as we're also seeing Johnny Cage do all this stuff. So he slips in some commentaries here and there, like when Jataka's leading him down the tunnels, under the city, and she asks him if he's scared, and he says, no way. And then Johnny Cage commentary comes in where he says, I've just peed myself. funny jokes, funny bits. I think they play with that really well. And I like the stupid mime the gap runner. I'm going to call it a runner, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I like that he's, the movie, we're seeing him film the movie, and he says this mime the gap line at the beginning, and the director calls cut and is like, that's not the line. The line is gravity is a bitch. Remember, it's important because you say it at the beginning and then it comes back at the end of the movie. And he's like resisting all of that. And then at the end of the movie, when he defeats Shinnok with the giant dragon statue falling on him, he gets to say the gravity's a bitch line.
Yeah.
It's a funny subversion because you kind of expect him to somehow do a mime the gap joke and throw him into a pit or whatever, but we get back to the gravity's a bitch thing, and it's just a very funny, like, writer's joke.
For sure.
Yeah. So there's, again, a lot of entertaining, fun stuff in this movie. It's not this movie's fault that I'm worn out at the just how much content there is out there in the world and how much Mortal Kombat content has been thrown at us in the past, like, 2 months. It's not Ethan Spaulding's fault. It's not Jeremy Adams' fault. It's not Joel McHale's fault. It's not Jennifer Grey's fault. It's nobody's fault. It's just a lot of stuff right now, you know?
Yeah. And I already said some of what I liked, so I probably won't go too crazy deep into that because we've been here for a while.
Sure.
But I will say, so the second the mystical ninjas show up, what's the first thing that they do? Do you remember the first thing that they do is?
No.
They say each other's names.
Okay.
What is this? A fucking Mortal Kombat comic book? What are we doing?
Written by Charles Marshall. Whoa.
Why do we have to introduce everybody directly by name?
That's fun. Okay, I didn't pick up on that. And again, I watched this twice in the past 12 hours, folks. The action was good, again, and I like as much as we're like the 80s nostalgia has to go away and die, please. I did really like the colors in this. They were fun. The animation.
It's a good looking movie. It's just like it's a victim of a lot of things that aren't like fundamentally its own fault.
Tell me if this is too bold. Okay. If they're going to do a Johnny Cage animated movie set in the 80s, what if this had been animated like an 80s Hanna-Barbera cartoon?
Oh my God.
But with the blood and gore and stuff. Like, that
would have been something for sure.
Is that too far? Right?
Probably. I think it is too far because I don't think that would look as good as you might picture it in your own mind.
So what I'm thinking of is in the last season of Community, season 6, and this is when they were like running on fumes, like they were like on Yahoo. They did an entire G.I. Joe episode that was animated like an 80s G.I. Joe cartoon.
Okay.
And it worked. That might be why I'm thinking, because of the Joel McHale thing. But like I was thinking about this, I was like, what if this was done like a Scooby-Doo or whatever, or like a real Ghostbusters or something, a little bit, where like the animation just felt maybe a little higher budget than a Hanna-Barbera, you know? But I don't know, man. I don't know. I do think this worked. There were just a few.
I don't know.
I don't know, kids.
Dude, has Gilbert Godfrey ever been interviewed by Nardwuar?
Bring me Aladdin's head. I don't know. I haven't seen a lot of those. I feel like
Jesus Christ died like a bitch.
Jesus fucking Christ. I can't believe you said that. I'm Gilbert Gottfried.
I'm Gilbert Godfrey as well. We're Gilbert Gottfried.
Dueling Godfrieds. That's our real new podcast that's coming soon, everybody. Rest in peace. I also cannot believe, like, if you like, I didn't watch through the credits. I'm not insane. I fast forwarded the credits to see if there's anything at the end, you know? And like the last thing is in loving memory of Gilbert, or dedicated to Gilbert Gottfried.
Nice.
And then like, yeah. And I was like, oh, that's really sweet. But also like, wow, man. In the 4th animated Mortal Kombat movie, you know?
Yeah. That's where the shout out lives.
Yeah. I'm sure it's not the only one the man's gotten, right? I don't know. Anything else?
No.
Performances are good. All of the voice acting in this was really good. I think the Chuck Golden character was very fun as like the nerdy assistant, you know? I think all the performances are good. The animation for the most part worked for me. There were a few spots where you can just sort of tell like the way they were animating like Johnny's arms and legs was just felt like a little bit Flash cartoony. You know, like like old internet, like Newgrounds, you know?
Right.
It just stuck out a little bit. That's not something like I don't know. Just maybe just a symptom again of the art style that they used in this. That's when I started thinking like, well, what if they did it like at Hanna-Barbera, you know? But yeah, I think I'm good. Man, I was so up on Scorpion's Revenge, and then I was pretty down. I was pretty like, I think I wanted Battle of the Realms to be good, but it was just a lot of it just really wasn't working for me. And then Snowblind was like a breath of fresh air a little bit and was kind of delivering something new in a lot of ways. And then so is this, but also it's not really. And maybe there's just like every other movie is going to be kind of meh. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it could be. Like, this might just be it now. Like, we just get these all the time.
That's true. Again, it's just they're just pumping out content to keep these IPs in people's minds and on streaming services and on digital marketplaces and everything else just to get a few more bucks. And I don't know. I think we need a break. Merry Christmas, everybody.
And maybe happy 2024, maybe not. We don't know.
Happy holidays. Should this be, I mean, should I like put the Christmas music in that I like to use? I don't
know.
I have this royalty-free version of Oh Holy Night I like to use.
I don't know.
Yeah. Are we done?
I'm so tired.
Are we done?
Yeah.
I think we're done. Corey, what do you got going on?
I don't know, other stuff.
Mortal Kombat Conquest.ca, probably.
It's all there.
You know what?
Go listen to They Made Another One.
You know what sucks?
No.
Oh wait, we've already been through this. We have to do domain shit through GoDaddy now.
And I don't like having to say that word.
It sucks. That's the biggest reason it sucks. Go check out They Made Another One. Go check out Crew Expendable, the alien show I do with our friend Corey.
No.
Wait, that's you. The alien show we do.
False.
With our friend Kenny.
Can you put in a big like buzzer?
Yeah, I'll put a buzzer on there. Yeah. God, we're really good at this, aren't we, man? Holy shit.
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
I was fighting myself. I wanted to do that.
I might need to chop that out. That guy sucks.
Does he?
Yeah, the guy's like an anti-vaxxer like you wouldn't believe.
Aren't we all?
Are we all? Hold on. Wait a minute.
No, I just got mine. I'm cool.
Okay. Nice. Congratulations.
I should say I got my 5th one.
I forget what number I'm on, but I got the most recent one before I went to Cancun, so we're both 4 vaccinated again.
5 vaccinated, bro.
I might be 4 vaccinated. I don't remember.
You gotta keep them vaccinated. I don't care.
If you want to tell us what you think of Cage Match, what's our email? theboys@mkpodquest.com.
Yeah.
Yeah. Slide into our DMs, MKPodquest on X and Instagram.
Yeah.
And until next time, spin kick. Until next time, gravity's a bitch.
Just do it again.